Mama Kwaba M0cks is so only your first time I share me about money and say will be to me hit on the notification button. Now I subscribe to the channel so that be next time piano. It will be better on so on side bit my day. I'll say POG Media. Political news are a trend, they make waves, they make headlines, a base, a more waves in so a hot fire, and it be a summon. Shannon Swami na after say Dr. Bawumia deliver his speech national. Adia Ghana for yen na him and running mate. Na Yenny Yankasa morning show host back up our Ghana house. What me asset pics and a mobia Kwame Sefa Kayi. What me I can play CCCRD running mate in the Kiana King Mighty Opoku Prempe and MPP in paying for Biom can be womb any Akujana so say Kiana King Dr. Bawumia and Fano and ye Nabedia tree na Omwano and a Newz do na odo which me Chichigu Ghana for so and we chemono intimi MVPO Emano Samson Nanafori honorable Nanafori and so etimi akikan sembe brain so etimi ede afa nana and also honorable Bawumia vice president on media friend his excellency prepon pe the bajemre na yeti insema honorable Kwame Sefa Kayi ekan and honorable nana ofori so ekan edifa na vice president Bawumia I'll say POG Media. Bombardian so between leave a comment under the comment section. Then so what me abo I make media net me afa into my pa. Efra share na afofro so ensa intimi enkabi. Yankomra.
The majority of NPP members have settled on Opoku Prempe as Bawumia's running mate, NPP national officer.
Na Jubilate Yashasi. PPP be a flag bearer by the end of the first quarter, by the end of March.
Hey, them.
Come upon a flag bearer on Subabe to find Kaudama Progressive People's Party. Now, Grandpa, a Vice President Bawumia new vision for Ghana issues. Are very tricky. A lot of scenarios play out for them program. Share former President Kesi almost as an endorsement for a person that where you needed to reinforce the endorsement in light of other issues. Now, Papa didn't vision but one also there is the driver mate scenarios or play out. Many of the analysis it can't be a driver mate scenario because our friend constitution. So president you are vice president no and a mate so sebi only license. Oh yeah. But the vice president is you ready? Are you ready for the position? Anything of us is a president in you are. All no better. Obashaw. A mate is not necessarily ready for the position. So driver you are. Mate are only license no. We can call for driver for whatever. Into the concept of the mate driver scenario now all cordon. I think there on the appropriate whether terms or lingua or they will use because the vice president is already ready. The other part may find it interesting, Grandpapa. Yeah, and Grandpa can there as a vice president, you need to move my president or catcher there. Yeah. It is the messenger boy of the president. That's what Kayi BB. Let's say yeah. Let's say you may be under duress. Ono so mentase papa. because on one point, it was the best performing vice president ever. Minim criteria where you see Wakasa to me ma WWF title, World Wrestling Championship title belt. The best vice president ever. The same vice president, yes, sir. Sebi, we need to move bia odi ye bibi wo abem. Me find those two things, conflictuous. Se nyama papa bi osia ye bode vice president oje enyim no ye manebe. At the same time, what's the vice president in him enough influence and enough power to go against certain things on Kayi as the head of the economic management team. Say analysis as the head of economic management team, or a subcommittee of cabinet, they can only propose certain ideas. But also call against the visionary, the head of EMT, the head of economic management team, were responsible for the good economic or bad economic prospects of the nation. And there are a lot of issues to be or L0še na yetum yedi to ye na ye streamlining those discussions, need to me a proper way forward. Notwithstanding this, I think there now or tight acrobatic rope walking in his delivery, because you have to be careful there. And with new vision, it doesn't conflict with an old vision you're part of. And into me absorb so totally from anything yen a citizen you perceive there one Kayi another okoye. And also what they swallow. Into that tightrope of balancing between, if you like, today's Bawumia, Dr. Bawumia, and tomorrow's Dr. Bawumia, is a very tight rope, because or you're the same party, or you're continuous. A few things that you are saying you disagree with. Come up who station here and argument. Say Kayi, I was leading that argument on the E-levy. A vice president and a presidential candidate, Bawumia Baha, Dr. Bawumia Baha, of the Kayi. They didn't agree with taxing the poor in relation to E-levy. And I name the party's position. I say, Opushi E-levy.
M0cks M0cks is so only your first time I share me about money and say will be to me hit on the notification button. Now I subscribe to the channel so that be next time piano. It will be better to our own so on side bit my headache. I'll say POG Media. Political news are trending, make waves, make headlines, a base, more waves in so a hot fire, and it be a summon. Shannon Swami, na after say, Dr. Bawumia delivered his speech, Nachino. Adia Ghana for yen na ye him and running mate. Na Yenny Yankasa morning show host back up our Ghana house. What me asset pics and a mobia. Sefa Kayi. What me I can play CC running mate in the King mighty Opoku Prempe and MPP in paying for can be womb any Akujana so say King Dr. Bawumia and Fano and ye Nabedia tree. Na Omwano and a Newz do na odo with me Chichigu Ghana for so and we chemono intimi MVPO Emano Samson enough for it honorable enough for it and so etimi Akikan Sembe brain so etimi Ede Afa Nana and answer honorable Bawumia vice president on media friend His Excellency Prepon pay the Bajamre na yeti in Sema Honorable Kwame Sefa Kayi and Honorable Nana Ofori so Vice President Bawumia. I'll say POG Media. Bombardian so between leave a comment under the comment section. Then so what me abo amedwumadi na timi afa no tuma pa efra share na afoforo so ensa intimi enkabi. Yankomra.
Be true. After pushing it through, so the effect of it, is nothing to write home about. Candidate Dr. Bawumia Aswaba Bekade Oba Beyi Efio, which means that he was not in agreement with the policy decision of this administration in relation to e-levy. Into Obachna Obeyi Efio. He a tightrope na American. He a tightrope na American. Because you see, the technological leap, now using technology as the basis for interfacing with government agencies and government institutions. We talked about this concept of double taxation. That the poor person now otifia otiane kania otia insu or send this or this come and never was school. Now all those things these things it will not augur well for your development as a nation. And from what Dr. Bawumia is saying, he agreed with us. He didn't agree with his government. But by his position as vice president, he could not exert the necessary influence. As for me, to exert influence, you don't need to be sitting in the seat to be a person to exert influence. Prof, we are aware there. You want to be aware influencers, social capital. And so, by one relationship with the community and our stakeholders, we to customer will be a day. Obi oha opero contest for president. Onankasani kutokumu no. Onyi kapro. And so ne ideas na nim dia owo no. Otu bankrofo a owo sika oye dey wo be supporting. And if you are a vice president and many good things has been ascribed to you, there ye nyim papa e wa adwen kese e wonim dia e de babua oman na ye kai all of the different talks, symposiums, and are we now saying that the man with the great vision obey to sacrifice for his party? No influence, he had no influence to be able to deter people from doing aja. Na there onye. But by his virtue, but we know that by his virtue of a vice president, you are not the financier. But you will be your friend influence and affluence.
Hey. Ain't it Nekrakran is saying?
So
that I can go around manage my time.
Influence and affluence happen with you. And I serious.
By Minya the joke. It's all them manage my time here.
Miss it the delivery. The
of
content
influence
of
and
the delivery.
affluence.
The content of delivery. Let's be honest with ourselves. Many different political parties and organizations are open their wobble ruling Ghana. Many of the ideas are what they ban. Are you good though? Many of the ideas are you good? The difference is if you trickle down economics, if you see from bottoms up and all these type of differences. Baby, I'm discussing the seemingly contradictions in the whole process. Into contradiction number one, vice president does not have power. At the same time, he's the best vice president ever in the history of Ghana. Contradiction number one. Contradiction number 2. Vice President did not agree with policies of this administration for which he is part and is a vice president. And that he's going to turn back the clocks of time when he becomes president. And he said when the bad policies were being put in place, for which he did not agree, wankasa. It's no or you're silent. It is now that he's going to speak. Because when you're two, I don't think that augurs well. Or that way you're careful in how we will push this narrative. Or that you're very careful in how they push this narrative. Because into me, you're part of a government system for 8 years. You take glory on one hand. But on the other side, things that did not go well, honestly, it will be tiba your chalk on those things. You can't do that. Into me, you're the margin. You must absorb all. Or that if papa na bonini na so na di shewiyem. But say, these distinctions about my Emmy, I agreed with, and me, I didn't agree with. Now say, but out like that, so forcefully, then it becomes a way. It becomes a way. Because if you are head of the economic management team, and something was not going right, you must come out.
So as
national organizer of MPP.
As part of the
just
team,
now,
you were saying that he should come and say
what they are told back to electricity do. The national organizer of the MPP came out blazing on all media platforms that they don't agree with this position.
So are you saying that as part of the team, no? In Kompia Bontimbekas on your money,
it's the national organizer, the national chairman, and general secretary.
The national organizer,
cabinet.
But he's not the head of the economic management team.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that the chairman of the party and the general secretary of the party.
Now, for just one question, are you saying, say, you expected the Obaba out?
Oh, Grandpapa.
As
a leader, Grandpapa, you must stand up and be accounted for. This is how you hold the fort. Now it may have the necessary influence to change the course of them while you're there on send or offer. I'm discussing about the dichotomies. I may discuss about the tightrope, what the man is going through. I can imagine Yama all connecting and trying to build or show us a Dr. Bawumia vice president, a Dr. Bawumia party leader, and flag bearer. And I make some of those images. Grandpa, the people are discussing that there seems to be some contradictions in some of the things that are recorded. The issue. The issue near there, the process that is being set, or a very delicate process. And I'm letting you today. Some of the propaganda we are rather what? Messing the man up. We are rather messing up the man. Many of the spokespersons on MPP say that the man never agreed with E-Levy. You're American. Oh yeah, the spokespersons and the
he said
I am telling them there. The more that they say it, the more that they put their leader in a state of quandary, because you are putting him at odds with his own leader and his own team that he has worked with. When you do that now and you attempt to separate him from what is there now, you can't do it. It's better to accept and apologize. I expected that in the beginning of the speech, he would have apologized for some of the things that has not gone well. And then he goes on to lay his platform and that he will take corrective actions on many of those things. We didn't hear any apology.
Right, let me go forward. Let me move forward, please. Don Pino from Malam says Nana Fori's argument is quite simplistic. Did Vice President Bawumia dissociate himself from any purported mishap of this government? Was the Vice President elected, or was it the President who was? Nana, you yourself, you know you are not neutral to discuss anything about this government. You've openly said you don't like the MPP. Anyway, okay. That's Don Pino from Malam. Nana Fori, don't forget, is the chairman of a political party and he wants power. So don't expect him to sing your song. He will sing the PPP song. Afari Tadisco down. Bawumia was elected flag bearer a few months ago. He's been able to come out with his policies and vision statement, which has been accepted and hailed by industry players, including Guta, AGI, and Abosoka and spare parts dealers. Bawumia is our hope. Afari Tadisco down. Lamte King Rashidi Nashaiman. Tell Grandpapa that the Côte d'Ivoire sacked their coach. That's the driver in the first round. His mate took over the vehicle and they won AFCON. Bawumia is a driver's mate and it is possible.
So he's sacking the president. You see, when I say people make analysis, it doesn't make sense.
Well, we know he's not sacking
this scenario, and you are saying that Bawumia has sacked his president. So he's now the president-elect. So you see,
he's not president-elect.
Well,
JC Bwaku from Mamprobi says the visionary Bawumia has outlined his vision for Ghana. If you disagree with him, bring an alternative. That's all we need, so we can continue the discussion. That is JC Bwaku. Dr. Bawumia mentioned specifically that he has the mandate of the president to focus on digitalization. Ask Nana Foriusu his impression of that aspect of the economy. And then Francis Brakwa in Kumasi. Kwame, on a very light note, may I'm running a program, please. Kwame, on a light note, you and I were not there comes to mind. Bawumia come out from inside Boko. Nana Dollar Pokwase sends that one. Okay, yes, you wanted to say something, Nana?
Digitization works on the foundation of good economy. Digitization cannot work in the absence with a bad economy. So the digitization process, on see one side, and the economy know what the other side. Work hand in hand. So economy is going through challenges. The issues of digitization will also have challenges, because a good economy then becomes the bedrock on which digitization platforms are built on. It's not digitization platforms that are built for economies.
But the man
to
said that. You see, didn't even listen to him. Nor have you read the script. That's why you
somebody asked a question. I'm answering the question.
Okay, so
you hear the question?
I heard the question.
Yeah, I'm answering
but your question is off the tangent.
No, it's not the tangent. It's your perception.
Anyway.
You have a right to your own perception. And
I'm
not supposed to agree.
Salam, Empatibrim.
Okay. Chairman General.
Yes, sir.
Michao.
Yeah, Joso.
Echia Prof. Any chairman. Echia Etiefo Nina Ashefo. Obia A. Otie Anapawi Michia. Chairman General. So far, no. Minshada Enhu a very detailed, if you like, content discussion of near Dr. Bawumia Eddie Tuja last Wednesday at UPAC, because now me trying say Chairman Nana Fori beko into the content of the speech, but you took your time to run around the peripherals of the speech. Chairman General, first and foremost, this issue of mate and nanka and say or this analogy no betuja and so on and so forth. In 2012, President John Dramani Mahama ekacha and say oye spare driver obabe wie the unexpired term of Professor Mills nyame etunsa efremo. Maybe you are dealing with issues of semantics. Wes, please. Semantics. Oh, but he made it clear. Said there was a mandate that was unexpired. No. Due to the demise of the president, he was constitutionally injuncted to dispose of. And further on went to say he should be given the mandate to continue to pursue his own agenda and vision for Ghana in 2012. So these things are not new in our political conversations, jargons, and lexicons. In fact, Aliu Mahama was the first person to even bring this driver mate issue in the 2007 primaries. So it has been within the political space for some time. But be it as it may, within the context, I am happy say we are discussing about vision. Say a politics no akwenim to the extent say if you want to become a leader, now you must put something before the Ghanaian people. Now yensusu enhwe say nya wode pa no ebeboa oman we ana emwa. At least I have listened to the former president John Dramani Mahama on about 2 occasions since he became flag bearer. First time inaugurating on my speech as to his vision, and Dr. Bawumia has also done so. Me Susu Yene say we would have been discussing the two to see the weight of the vision and obia all oh, now who has the gravitas? I'll wait me aboa man.
Why ne bit me aboa? One ka brofu kakaka gravitas and I did.
Brofu no. Obia obeti me aboa man we.
No.
Ye koye bani nyina no. Chama general, leadership o. Leaders and effort decision our impact on ye nyina yeso. Enti se nanado dan kwa Akufo-Addo ebaye. It takes certain critical decisions. A bit is a free SHS. Any other decisions are take our effect on us. I just say leadership is very critical. And he say young queen ni obedi sono. We must be necessarily interested. Senior Nadrin City, his thinking process, and that's what these conversations are meant to give us. And of course, so far, métier conversations be across the board. Industry players, even neutrals, media people. Or the day before yesterday, me who odi ahinkan me who video na oma overview of the speech senior he taught.
No, sitting.
I say, oh, the speech was good, the delivery is good, the content is good, but of course, at the end of the day, politicians say to me. Yen try say ye be this so bo ye shani nyina ye betimi aye. In essence, nia Dr. Bawumia dia to ye nim any vision senior ohun se Ghana beko and ono. And he made it clear on say on my context perspective there's no part of the speech Dr. Bawumia yin hu e free this current government. He first of all started by saying that we have run into difficulties. He admitted, say, "Ahonchere aba every say atorenchembi ebesi so ema nyama etosin kakra." And he gave the antecedents of nyama senior esiako. Say at a point in time, this economy was one of the fastest growing in the world. And yen enayekaye Reuters, World Bank, Bloomberg, Munyina Equity, Ghana as the fastest growing economy around 2018 or so, growing at about 8% per annum, ahead of even China. If this team was able to achieve such a feat, say Aturanchim be a buyer. Yenina na ye ni hu to me, say you best stop here. Emma nyama tosin. It shows that indeed there's capacity to deliver. And that's exactly what Dr. Bawumia went ahead to say. All the things he has helped Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo as vice president to do. Paperless port system, his insistence for a comprehensive national identification system, because identifying your citizenry is key to national development. It's key. A key to national development. And on my context of digitalization drive, or can say in or book be in 2010 about monetary policy. And in that book, he stated that digitalization is one of the key drivers to take economies to the next level. So in 2010, the man had already figured out, say, digitalization is a key component of advancing economies. And say, the vice president, he is pursuing the very things that he believes in and has always believed in. And made the point.
Nano for you to just say on you, say,
anytime I can say, when tear speech, because the man gave the context. he said it. Oh, Debbie, I'm not giving him accolades. I was there.
Now, for you push the microphone away and you're talking into an empty room. So then it echoes. We don't hear you.
Oh, I listened to him well, and I've read the speech as well.
PPP, dear Subabanans
POG Media, so no, so so first time I click it, hit on the notification button. Now, after click on the subscribe button. Now, after boa my channel into me and find it to my panya in from. I mean, I was a bit brave, so I from maintain up to this time. Much appreciated. And come here, post we somebody answer with me leave you a comment under the comment section. The church say and penny and pa on say ultimate about channel on so. Mami who presence said the next time we are we win and so meet me and drop a shout outside the amount. Sanity channel on a high POG Media, best entertainment, best political channel ever, best political channel ever. And yes, sanity pepe. Mamina was say, that was the answer. The best